Welcome to our Python programming course, where we are going to teach you how to become an effective Python programmer. Computers are amongst the top 10 human inventions of all time, according to a lot of publications. We are now in the fourth industrial revolution, driven by the fusion of technologies like artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, robotics, bioengineering, and many other technologies. Enabling all these technologies is the power of a computer. According to a publication by World Economic Forum, especially in their 2020 job report, programming is among the top 10 skills that will be very critical in 2025. Learning how to program will greatly help you in future-proofing your career. In this course, we're going to take you through how to program using Python. We do not assume any previous knowledge of programming. If you're already a programmer, you will pick one or two things, but we start from zero up until you become an effective user of Python. What is a computer? A computer is a programmable machine that can store, process, and retrieve data. Most of us, we have been on the user side when it comes to using computers. We make use of computers when we are online, when we are accessing our favorite sites, social media sites, when we want to process data, maybe through Microsoft Excel, through Power BI, we make use of computers. We have been on the user side. But now, through learning how to program, you transform yourself to become someone who come up with a program or tell a computer what to do. Programming is a very important skill, especially in the 21st century, which is the fourth industrial revolution, where there's going to be a lot of hyper automations, artificial intelligence, a lot of tasks that are manual, repetitive, are going to be automated by computers. Learning how to work with computers, how computers work, will greatly improve the human-computer collaboration. So computers are our helpers. A computer just does whatever you tell it to do. Programmers are the people who come up with instructions using a certain programming language and run those instructions within a computer. Computers are our helpers. They came to help us as they can process a lot of calculations. Learning how to program is very useful because we'll be able to tell a computer what to do. Computers wait for instructions from a programmer and then executes those instructions. For us to be able to talk to computers, we need to communicate in a language which they understand. This is where the concept of programming comes in. A computer program is a collection of instructions that performs a specific task when executed by your computer. As programmers, we'll be creating a lot of programs that do various tasks from data analysis. Maybe you want to automate daily work that is repetitive routine. Programmers are the people who create computer programs. These are the ones who come up with a lot of ideas in terms of what people need. For example, every day we make use of Microsoft. It was created or developed by Microsoft programmers. We make use of Facebook. We make use of the internet where we access various websites. These are all applications that have been created by programmers. But those programmers anticipated what people needed, and then they created programs that achieve those tasks. It's very important that before you start to program, you need to have some idea in terms of what you want to achieve and what use cases or what needs to meet in the lives of people. It can be for personal use, where you want to use it in your day-to-day work, where you want to automate certain processes. I work as a data scientist and I use Python programming every day. For us to tell a computer what to do, we need to write a program in a certain programming language. We have various programming languages that developers use when they want to tell a computer what to do, when they are coming up with various programs. There's JavaScript, Python, Java, Scala, C Sharp, C++, and a lot of other languages which I did not put on this slide. Most people have worked with Microsoft Excel. VBA is also a programming language that is embedded in most Microsoft Office products, which is used to automate various repetitive tasks that you can do. These languages, some are high level, some are low level. Let's now look at Python as a programming language. We are going to be covering Python in this course. Python is favored by a lot of people because of various characteristics that it has. Python is a high-level programming language, which means its structure or the way you program in Python is somehow close to the language that we use, which is English. We shall see as we start programming that Python programming is actually amongst one of the easiest programming languages that we have. Most schools that teach programming in high school usually teach Python because of its simplicity and also readability. Python is an interpreted language. Computers do not understand the language that we speak as human beings. They understand what we call machine code. Programmers usually don't program or write their source code in machine code because it's a language that is low level, and a lot of developers or programmers make use of high-level programming languages like Python. But because computers understand machine code and yet they program in a high-level programming languages like Python, they need a middleman that will take the high-level programming language, convert it into a form which can then be understood by the computer. This is the role of the Python interpreter. So Python interpreter takes your Python code, it interprets it, that is, there is a stage that is done in between which involves compiling to bytecode, and then the bytecode is then run in a Python virtual machine, which is also part of the Python interpreter. Since it's an interpreted language, you are not much concerned about how the interpreter does its work. You just pass on the instructions and you receive your output immediately. That's the advantage of an interpreted language. We have other languages like Java, which are compiled. When we have the source code, you need a compiler first, which then compiles the source code to bytecode. And then the bytecode will be run on a Java virtual machine. Let's look at the use cases of Python. One of the advantages that Python has over a lot of other programming languages is the fact that Python is a general purpose programming language, which means it can be used for a lot of things. As you can see, it can be used for web development. We have a lot of frameworks in Python like Django, Flask, which are used in web development. Python can also be used for web scraping, computer vision, machine learning, game development. It can be used for doing various automations. It's a general purpose programming language with multiple use cases. When we have mastered Python programming, you just need to learn the specific frameworks that are useful or that are used in your area of application. For example, after mastering the essentials of Python programming, when you want to go into web development, you just need to learn frameworks like Django or Flask. When you want to go into data science or data analytics or machine learning, you need to learn frameworks or libraries like NumPy, Pandas, scikit-learn, NLTK, and TensorFlow. This will then enable you to start using Python programming in that specific area of application.